Hello everybody out there on YouTube. So pardon me for any weirdness. This is my first YouTube video trying this out. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about my 1985 Bayliner Capri. Um, Turned into a project boat. I really thought I would have it on the water last year, but turns out it was more of a project than I bargained for. So I should have made more videos with my DIY stuff, but sometimes I just get so involved in the project and I don't even think to turn a camera on. As you can see, this 39-foot behemoth behind me, that was also a more recent purchase that needed some work, and me and my fiance put some work into it. We actually already had our first camping trip in it, July 4th weekend. So, but today we're going to be talking about my 18-foot Bayliner Capri boat. Um, Again, pardon me, no editing skills here whatsoever. So this video is getting uploaded to YouTube as is. The first thing I want to say is I've done a lot of work to this Bayliner Capri since I bought it last year. Um, I will say a lot of it, nothing is on camera. However, I ran into a little problem when trying to search for any videos that involved the Volvo Penta AQ125B engine. And the problem that I ran into is there are no videos on YouTube on how to work on one that I could find. So we're just going to go over a little look of what my boat looks like. Again, I apologize to anybody who would have liked to have seen this from the beginning. It's not one of those things where I have the camera on all the time. However, running into this problem, I think that I might just start recording, maybe help someone else out who's in this predicament. A lot of the stripping of this boat has been done by me. This boat I purchased for $450. When I turn the camera around, you guys can all see what it looks like. Right now, it looks like a complete mess. When I purchased it, though, a lot of things were still intact, but getting down to the nitty-gritty, I decided to just strip the whole thing and turn it into a project and redo it. But I never winterized it last year. And here in New York, we got some pretty cold spells during the winter. And I started it up back at the beginning of May. By the way, which the engine did not run when I first purchased this boat. I had a friend of mine at the time. I did not have a vehicle that was capable of towing this thing. I had a friend of mine try to talk me out of it, and I bought it anyway for $450. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted a boat, so I got a boat. I just haven't had it on the water yet. So we're gonna, in just a second, we're gonna go in and I'm gonna show you guys the boat and it. Not what it used to look like, but I still do have some of the original seats and everything, but a lot of it is just totally rotted and the plywood is rotted and destroyed. When I purchased it, the floor was rotted, so that became an issue. I've even replaced the floor in my own residence that seemed to be a lot easier than this. But we're going to take a look at what this boat looks like now. And the issue I ran into when I started it up back in May is I found a large leak coming from the exhaust manifold. And I really had given up on this boat at that point. I actually put it up for sale. I was trying to at least get my money back for it. I had somebody offer me $100 for the boat and trailer, and I didn't even respond to that because, after paying $450 for this, I at least want $450. It is stripped. it is totally stripped after the work that I've done to it last summer. But to my surprise, when I got it home, I put a new ignition coil in it and the engine started up. And honestly, she runs like a charm. However, the problem is that I discovered last year was the oil was pretty milky. And anybody who's a boat owner understands what that means. I have never been a boat owner. Thankfully, I had a friend who knows a little bit about boats, and he told me milky oil is not good. Um, Sad thing about it is I purchased this, and I really have high hopes for it. So I got a little bit of ambition back this year for this boat. So um, I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to take a look at this boat. Don't mind the stuff underneath it. That is where I stockpiled the old seats and everything. But other than that, I mean, when I purchased this boat, it was in fairly decent shape, other than the floor being rotted and a lot of other stuff. But I mean, I'm going to show you the outside. The outside I had power washed last year. And, you know, something told me that, going back to the old 1980s movie of Christine, where the old man tells Arnie Cunningham that you can't polish a turd. I really almost gave up on this boat, but after doing the work I did to my 39-foot camper, I feel like I have a little more ambition to the boat now. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to check that out. So this is my 18-foot Bayliner Capri open bow that I have. And we are going to take a look inside. And we're going to see what's going on inside. I know most of you aren't going to think this is pretty, but here's what I got going on inside right now. We'll explain the engine a little bit. But this boat, when I first purchased it, the seats were intact. Everything back here at the stern was fully intact, including that piece right there that laid in the back of the stern here. It had carpeting down. The carpet was gross. I mean, as you could tell, there's a little life growing out of that part. But the problem is the carpet. The carpet had stuff growing out of it too. I mean, the leaves you see in here, that's just from last season, but I had to rake out about 4 inches of leaves out of this thing. So what we're going to talk about is what I've done to the engine so far. As you can see, there's a plastic garbage bag over the valve cover there, because I have the valve cover removed. I am working on tearing this entire thing down. Mind you, I have no experience on engines. That's why I was searching on YouTube for any videos that included this type of engine. It is the Volvo Penta AQ125B, as you can see right there on the intake and the carburetor. So what I've done so far, I mean, the interior, I've honestly put that on the wayside for right now. I have stripped down the bow completely. I'm still working on that, but that's not even my issue. My issue came about when I started this engine up in May and had leaks from the exhaust manifold. That's when I almost gave up on this boat. But what I'm talking about here is what I've done so far. So if anybody knows anything about Volvo Penta AQ125Bs, you can see that almost the entire cooling system is missing here. So because the cooling system is missing is because I removed it. I'm going to take you over to where I have the parts at this point. But you can see here where the exhaust manifold goes down in. And I have done an oil change on this before. Switch this back over to me. I have done an oil change on this. I don't know if it was thorough enough to where I still had milkiness in the oil. But in another video, I will definitely show what the head looks like and all of that. It's gonna come down to me removing the entire head. I think this might be a head gasket issue. I'm not sure. But again, I have never torn down an engine before in my life. So, I mean, as crappy as this boat looks now, it can't get much worse, right? So, it's either I scrap it or I fix it. And my goal is to fix it. So, we're gonna go through that. Probably take you guys on a journey here. That's the whole purpose I'm doing this video, is because I have not found anything involving a Volvo Penta AQ125B engine on YouTube, and it kind of sucks because everybody's got Mercruiser videos. I actually learned a lot from a Mercruiser video, but you know, and given this is a 4-cylinder, the video I watched on a Mercruiser was 6-cylinder that looked a little more complicated. So this is a 4-cylinder. So as you see, I'll switch this back over. I do have a plastic bag over the valve cover because I have the I have the valve cover removed. I have just about the entire cooling system removed, other than a few copper lines that are here. Other than that, I still have work to do on this. What I do intend to do on the other parts is, as well as having them removed, I plan to wire wheel them as I have started. Going to wire wheel them and probably, well, more than likely repaint them. Don't know if I'll do a video on that or not. I mean, most people know how to spray paint. But I'm going to take you over to the parts that I have off here. So this is the valve cover that I have off so far. And underneath, it is not that bad. I mean, the Mercruiser video I watched, even the valve cover was very milky. So, that was like a total engine overhaul. But they did a really good job, and it gave me hope on this engine, because I thought that once the milky oil started that it was a goner, and that's what made me lose hope. But here is more of the cooling system that I have off, and then here's the exhaust manifold, and I'll show you guys right here. Last night I put JB Weld on this right here. That's where the crack was. When I started the engine in May, that's where it was leaking from, and that's when I really gave up hope on this. So but I'm hoping JB Weld will take care of that. If not, I mean, it's the exhaust manifold. I could pull it off again and maybe have it professionally welded if the JB Weld doesn't hold. But other than that, I mean, the exhaust manifold is kind of the least of my worries now that I have it off. I didn't realize how easy it would be to take off until I started pulling bolts out. I mean, everything's a learning experience. I'm definitely going to split those two parts apart, and I'm going to wire wheel them. I'm going to repaint everything nice, so when I fit everything back together, it's gonna look pretty nice. But I think that's all I got for now. If anybody has any questions, put them in the comments. Again, I've never done a YouTube video, so this is kind of new to me. I figured I'd do a YouTube video for the simple fact that I have not seen one yet that deals with this type of engine, and I figured doing one would help somebody out somewhere down the road. Again, this is a 1985 Bayliner Capri with a Volvo Penta AQ125B that I'm working on. Everything I'm doing, I'm learning as I go. So if anybody has any suggestions, please put them in the comments. It's fine. I'll take constructive criticism because I'm really new at this. And I feel like if I can rebuild this engine and put it back together, clean it up, and fix whatever gasket issues I have, and I get it running again and I get it running smooth, then I feel like somewhat accomplished, because this is a first for me. So everybody stay tuned for the next video. It'll probably be soon. I seem to have been putting in some time with this boat, so the last 2 days. So alright guys, take care. See you in the next video.